This is an example of innovative graphs that we call in our lessons. This kind of thing appears a lot of CAD exams. I mean, 2018, this is an example. 2019, also both slots, we had some innovative graphs. So something or the other, I mean, is represented in a different way. Try to understand what it is, because once you understand, it becomes very easy to solve. So you have to dedicate a bit of time to understand what the set is. There is a little bit of you know number distribution and those kind of things also that will play a role in this particular set. So I would not say this is an easy set to solve. It's not even medium. I would say moderate to tough, maybe on the tougher side a little bit more. So this is one set you could have avoided, but don't take a convention, or don't take a mindset that all innovative graphs are actually tough to solve. This one was in 2019 we had sets which were easy to solve. So depends on it. So understand the set, dedicate some time to get what it is, and then take a call. So let's go ahead with it. You'll automatically understand the analysis bit. The graphs that are presented, this is just presented as it was in the set. I'll take a enlarged version of the graph and the table for you to read properly. So let's go with the premise first. So we have each of the 23 boxes. So there are 23 boxes here in this diagram. Represents a product manufactured by one of the following three companies, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, so ABC. So these three companies are producing these products. The area of a box is proportional to the revenue from the corresponding product. So there is some area involved. When I show the enlarged one, you will be able to identify the area properly. Don't worry, in the actual paper, that was quite a big image. This is just to fit in this screen. I had to reduce the size. The area of the box is proportional to the revenue of the corresponding product, while the center represents the product popularity and the market potential scores of the product out of 20. So each of these scales, so there is this X and Y axis. Again, when I show the enlarged version, you'll find that in clarity. I'll explain that once again. So these two things, product popularity and market potential scores out of 20, is indicated by the center of each of those products. So each of those boxes, the center wherever it is, that will indicate what is the market potential and what is the product popularity. So X and Y axis. Now, companies classified their products into four categories. So, sort of a BCG matrix kind of thing is going to happen based on a combination of scores on the two parameters. So, based on the X score and the Y score, you have few categories, four categories that are presented. So, before we go into the additional information, let me first get the enlarged version of these two charts. Okay, so these are the graphs that were given, graph and the table. So I guess you can see it now. So this is the market potential on the y-axis and the product popularity that is on the x-axis. So depending on that, or depending on where these boxes are lying, you will have these four categories. So promising, blockbuster, doubtful, and no hope. And the important part is the shadings of some of the boxes have got erased if you read in the original premise. So for example, this one we don't have the which company it falls under the category of. Now if you call back just a few minutes ago that I explained, so the area will be proportional to the revenue obtained, right? And also there will be a bit of number of products related to particular company falling in whichever type or whichever category, either the promising one or the blockbuster one, the doubtful one, the no hope one. So there are two parts of the analysis here. One part is how many products are lying. The other part is what are the revenue of those products. Now, before we get into that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show something in this graph. This part you can visualize, but then if I draw this line, it should be evident to you. So the comparison points, I hope you can see in this table, it's always with 10, right? Greater than 10 or less than equal to 10, everything. So it's sort of a matrix kind of thing. There are four quadrants that we are discussing. So just take the x equal to 10 line and consider the y equal to 10 line. So these are the four quadrants that we are actually concerned about, right? Anything that falls here are the promising ones, right? Because promising ones are greater than 10 for each of the two categories, product popularity score as well as market potential score. Now, if the market potential score is greater than 10, but the product popularity score is less than equal to 10, so that falls in the doubtful category, right? So this part will be the doubtful ones, right? So I'm just writing D for this. So this is the doubtful one. And blockbuster will be where the product popularity is very high, it's greater than 10. But so the x-axis is greater than 10 and the market potential is less than equal to 10. So this region, isn't it? So this region indicates our blockbusters. So I'm just writing BB for that. And obviously the rest of it is no hope. So you don't have any hope of having any sort of, expectation from this type, these particular products. So these are the four categories that has been presented. And now I think this can be easily distinguishable. But the only challenge is when you are, actually solving this in a CAT paper, you can it's not very efficient to redraw this particular thing once again, right? And you're looking at this in a computer screen, so you can't draw this 10-10 line. So try to visualize without drawing the 10-10 line. For the explanation purpose, I'll keep that, but you should be able to visualize without drawing the x equal to 10 and y equal to 10 line. The quadrant should be visible. So be a little careful. So that part I was initially talking about, a little time consumption. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on two things here, because if you just glance through the additional information once, this question number point number 1 to 4, each of these are talking about the number of products, right? So I hope you can see that everything is falling in terms of number of products, right? All these four information. But if you look at the next four information, so the next four information is talking about the revenue. So 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is talking about revenues, right? Same total revenue, higher revenue. So these are talking about revenue. So I'm going to draw two matrices, one part for the number of products and another part of the higher revenue, that is, sorry. And I'm going to show you the best way to relate those two matrices together. So the main challenge happens if you draw two matrices to relate those two. So the way you are relating it, that should be evident. And also I'm going to keep one of the columns as a question mark because of those missing data. So I'm just going to put a question mark for that. Others are ABC, the legends are given. So accordingly, we can figure it out. So let me just first draw the table and then we'll carry on. Okay, so as I said, I've drawn two matrices here. So this one will be indicating the number of products and this one will be indicating the revenues. It will be a little cleaner and easy to understand. I'm not going to club the revenues of the doubtful ones or the question mark ones, undisclosed ones. And then that will be easy to relate. So let's go ahead with it. You'll understand this automatically. So first thing, for the promising ones, see, these things are in the promising category. So this first quadrant, there are 3 products here, but we know nothing about it, which company it falls in. We know nothing about it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a 0, 0, and 0 here. I'm going to put a plus, and plus here. So this will give me what extra I'm adding. So that will be easy to relate later on. And here I'm going to put a 3 here. Okay, side by side, I'm also going to take up the revenue things because that will also be part of the analysis. So revenues, here I don't know ABC. So in this case, I'm not going to write those zeros and stuff. So I'm just going to plug in this, these revenues that I know. So this has an area of 2, right? I'm just going to write the numbers. It's proportional to it, but then I can scale it up whenever I want, right? Everything is proportional to the same. So proportionality exists here. So I'll just use the areas as it is. So there is 2 units of x-axis and 1 unit of y-axis. So this area is 2. So this is 2. This is 3 into 3, 9. So this is how I'm going to indicate this. And this is 3 into 1, 3. So these are the 3 revenues. So I check this. I've not written this as 14 because if I do that, I know that every time when I go into the additional information, I have to check this thing again. So that is the extra bit that don't want to do. So now I can relate this. There are three of this, and these are the three individual revenues. So it will be easy to relate. I can just look at the table and solve with the additional information. So this is the first bit of the promising part. Now let us look at the blockbusters. So blockbuster is this region. So you can just count for each of them. Alpha is this type, the blue ones. So there are two at alpha, but this might increase because there are some blanks as well. So again, I'm going to write 2 plus something. I don't know what is that. Bravo is just 1 as of now. It might also increase. And the Charlie are the black ones. There are 2 of these as of now. And there are 2 missing ones, right? These are the undisclosed ones. In terms of revenue, now here again, I have to use a plus, but that plus I'm not going to write right away. I'll adjust later on. So I'm just going to write the values here. A is, as of now, A is on, there are these 2 parts are A. So this has a area of 3 and this has an area of 6, right? 1 into 3 and 3 into 2. So 3 plus 6, this I can combine any which way. So this is 9 plus I leave a blank, or let me not leave that. Let me not do that because anyhow I've indicated those pluses here. Later on I can add the plus, whichever is applicable. B is the whatever is this color, pink or something. So this is 3 into 2. So this is 6 as of now. I'm keeping a bit of space. I hope you can understand that so that I can adjust this properly. I'm trying to show you a technique which you can apply in your solving thing. Otherwise, I could have done this with a PPT or something. C is the black one. So this is having an area of 2. C is this black one. So this is 2. And this is 2 into 3, 6. So we have 2 plus 6, that is 8, is the revenue of C, total revenue of C under the blockbuster part. The missing parts, now this I'm going to break it. As I said, I mean, I need to know what are going to be transmitted. So this one has an area of 4, 2 into 2, and this one has an area of 9, 3 into 3. So we have 4 plus 9, just 2 parts. There are 2 products here missing. Okay, next one is doubtful. So let us look at this quadrant. So for the doubtful, we have for A, we have the blue ones, couple of these. Again, let me leave a plus. For the Bravo, we have 2 of these. Let me leave a plus. And Charlie, we have nothing as of now. So let me put a 0 only. Let me specifically write a 0. And there are 3 missing ones. So let me just write a 3. Coming to the revenue, A has a revenue of 1 and 4. So these are the revenues. So we have a total of 5 as of now for A. And for B, we have 2 and 6. So we have 2 plus 6. So that is 8. So that is for B. And C is right now we don't have. So let us leave that blank. But the missing one. So this is 1 square units. This is 6 square unit, and this is 9 square unit. So we have 1, 6, and 9. So let me write those explicitly. 1 plus 6 plus 9. So the other three revenues that are missing. Coming to the final one, the no hope one. Product wise, alpha, there are 2 of these. Bravo, there is 1 of these. And Charlie, again, it's missing right now. So let me write a 0 plus. And for revenue, alpha has a total revenue of 4 units, square units that is, and 2 square units. So that is 6 as of now. Bravo has just 1 product, and that is 4 square units. And the missing ones are, this is 3 square units. And these are 1 each. So we have 1 plus 1 plus 3. So these are the revenues. So the advantage now that is going to happen is when you have done it in this way, you will also understand, I mean, you don't have to look at this graph anymore. So let me just remove this graph and let's get into the additional information. Okay, when I was filling this, I forgot filling this one, but the advantage is I have written it in this way. So now I know that there are 3 of these missing. Anyhow, let's carry on. So first part. So first, let me take a count of those products. So where will the transmission happen? So alpha and bravo. So first information. first bullet point or first numeric point. Alpha and Bravo had the same number of products in the blockbuster category. So Alpha and Bravo has to have same number of products. Now the unknown ones were two here, right, in the blockbuster category. So if I cannot transfer one and one, right? The only way I can make these two equal is transmitting zero here and one here. So if there is zero product going here and one product going here, it automatically implies there is one product going for C. So this blockbuster category is done. So we can take this off. Now let us look at 2. Charlie had more products than Bravo, but fewer products than Alpha in no hope category. So in the no hope category, Charlie has more products than Bravo, but less products than Alpha. So this is the sequence that we have, right? Now just check this part first. So if Charlie has more than Bravo, Bravo is already 1, right? So Charlie has to have minimum of 2 products. But if I give all the 3 products here, then Alpha gets nothing. So Alpha will be left with total of 2 products. So this condition will fail. So the only way this can be justified is giving 2 products here and 1 product here. So this makes 0. Now you can see that this is automatically, satisfying. So this is also done. So this point number 2 is done. Let us look at point number 3. Each company had an equal number of products in the promising category. So promising category is simple, right? So each of them have to have equal number. Initially, they have all 0, 0, 0. So there are 3 here. So you just simply have 1, 1, and 1. So this is also done. So point number 3 is taken. Point number 4, Charlie did not have any product in the doubtful category. So doubtful category, that has to be this transmission is also 0. While Alpha had 1 product more than Bravo. So there are 3 to be transmitted. Alpha has to get more than Bravo. So this has to get 1 more, that is. So this has to get 2 and this has to get 1 because initially that is equal, right? 2 and 2 products. So this is the transmission. So this is also done. So the product transfers are very easy to handle, right? So now let us look at the revenue one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 all are done. So now let us look at the revenue ones. 5th point, Bravo had a higher revenue than Alpha from products in the doubtful category. So in the doubtful category, Bravo needs to have more than Alpha. Now, this is the reason why I made this, matrix or the 2 matrices in this way, because I know that in the doubtful category, there is 1 extra in Bravo and 2 extra in Alpha, right? But Bravo has to have more than Alpha. Check the current situation. Bravo has 8 revenue and Alpha has 5 revenue. Right. And we just need to transfer 1 of these 3 numbers to Bravo and 2 of these numbers to Alpha. Right. And then the condition has to satisfy. So one thing we can straight away eliminate is that we cannot transmit 1. So I cannot transmit this 1 to Bravo. That is very silly, right? Then I'm transferring 6 and 9 to Alpha. Then Alpha obviously becomes greater. Right. Even if I transfer 6 to Bravo, if I put a 6 here, then this gets 1 and 9. So that is 10. So this is 15 now, and this is 14 now. So still it is not satisfied. So the only way we can satisfy this is by transferring 9 here and 6 plus 1, 7 here, right? And obviously because C has nothing, so this is 0. So this transmission is done. So that is taken care of. So 5th point is taken. Now let us get into the 6th one. Charlie had a higher revenue than Bravo from the products in the blockbuster category. So in the blockbuster category, Charlie had a higher revenue than Bravo. Now, what about the products? So there is 1 extra product in Charlie and 1 extra product in Bravo, right? So Charlie had a higher revenue. Now, if I, again, same idea, if I transfer 4 to here and 9 here, so if I transfer 4 here and 9 here, then Bravo becomes higher, right? But Charlie needs to have a higher revenue. So obviously, then this needs to get the 9 and this needs to get the 4. So pretty simple, right? So we transfer the 9 here and the 6 here. So this part is also taken. Next, point number 7. So 6 is done. Bravo and Charlie had the same revenue from the products in no hope category. So Bravo and Charlie had the same in the no hope category, right? So Bravo and Charlie. So Bravo is already 4. You can see this. And there is no extra product that comes into Bravo in the no hope category. So Charlie, whichever 2 are coming, they have to add up to 4, right? So effectively what we know is this 1 plus 3, 4 will come here. So I'm just writing this as 4. No need to again write in pluses. This was just to relate these two information together. And because there is nothing transferred to Bravo, this extra 1 that we have goes to Alpha, right? So this is what we have. Sorry for that. I'm just taking off this arrow. Yeah. So this is what we have for no hope, right? So point number 7 is also taken. Now coming to the 8th one. Now the 8th one says that Alpha and Charlie had the same total revenue considering all the products. So Alpha and Charlie, so these two need to have the same total revenue, right? So let us take a quick calculation, or let us quickly calculate what is the scenario as of now. Okay, by the way, this is also taken. The only thing that is left to be calculated is the promising part, right? So let us take a quick calculation of this. So alpha as of now is 9 plus 1, that is 10. Then you have 5, 7, 6, or 5, 6, 7, that's an AP. So 18. 18 plus 9, that is 28, right? 18 plus 10, that is 28, right? So alpha is 28 as of now. Charlie, 4, 8, and 9. So that is 12 plus 9, 21. So these two needs to balance out. So if these two needs to balance out, Alpha's revenue that comes in the promising part has to be 7 less than what goes to the Charlie, right? So Alpha needs to get this 9 and Charlie needs to get this 2. And then Bravo gets this 3. So everything is done. Let us just complete the total also. Maybe that will be relevant because we have already worked out the totals so far. So why stop now? So 28, we already know it was there. Okay, I did just the other way around. My bad. Sorry for that. So Alpha gets a 2 and Charlie gets a 9. And the total revenue, so 28 plus 2, so that is 30. And 21 plus 9, that is the 30 also. So let us calculate this B. Let me take this off. This is irrelevant now. And B, we have 10 here. 17 plus 3 is 20. And the 4, so that is 34, right? So the grand revenue is 94 if that is required. Product, I'm not adding, that is small numbers. So this is what we have. Let me get into the questions now. Okay, so in these things, I've not done the totals everywhere. So just the revenue totals I've taken because that was half done any which way. Rest of it as per requirement, I'll do it. Question 13, considering all companies' products, which product category has the highest revenue? So highest revenue in terms of the categories is what you're looking for, right? So if you look at this, so just compare. So if you look at the first one, the promising one, that is definitely less than the blockbuster one, right? The BB one. We can obviously check this. I mean, there's 9, 3, 2 is anyhow less than 6. Even blockbuster is greater than doubtful. You can compare easily. This is 8 plus 9. This is also 8 plus 9. So these two are like balancing each other out. And there's a 5 plus 7 and 6 plus 4 is somewhat less, but then 9 will exceed that, right? So blockbuster is greater than doubtful as well. And blockbuster compared to this NH's no hope one is anyhow bigger. That is very obvious, right? 6 plus 4, you can eliminate the 6 and 4, and this 9 itself will balance out everything else. So obviously the blockbuster one is the highest. You don't need to calculate this. 14 says, which of the following is the correct sequence of number of products Bravo had? Okay, number of products Bravo had. So Bravo is what we are looking for this column. No hope, doubtful, promising, and blockbuster. Great. So the order has been changed. So no hope, doubtful, promising, and blockbuster. So something like this. So that would be 1, 3, 1, 2. So 1, 3, 1, 2 is the sequence that we are looking for. And that is option B. So that is it for this question. The next one, which of the following statement is not correct? Okay, so we are looking for a false statement. Option A says A's revenue from blockbuster products. So A's revenue from blockbuster product is 9. Was the same as C's revenue from promising products. So C's revenue from promising products is also 9. So this is correct. So this is actually true. Let me put a tick mark for this and don't select this option. B says Bravo's revenue from blockbuster products. So Bravo's revenue from blockbuster products, this is 10, was greater than Alpha's revenue from doubtful products. So Alpha's revenue from doubtful products is 12. 10 is not greater than 12, right? So that is incorrect. So this is the answer, option B. You can evaluate the other two. They should be incorrect any which way. I'm sorry, they should be correct any which way. So B is the answer here. That is a false one. Now, 16 says if the smallest box on the grid is equivalent to revenue of rupees 1 crore. Now, if you remember the areas that we were filling up, there were some areas which were 1 square unit, right? There was nothing less than 1 square unit. So 1 square unit is 1 crore. That is the idea, right? So everything is in crores here, all the values. Then what approximately was the total revenue of Bravo in rupees crore? So this is good that we did. So Bravo in rupees crore, so that is 34 crores. So that is the answer here. So, as I mentioned earlier, I would definitely categorize this under the medium to tough category, a little bit leaning towards a tough one because there is a bit of analysis. Because uh, I don't know how many of you will be well adept with, combining two matrices together and analyzing them side by side. If you are good with it, then you will definitely get an edge solving this set. Maybe definitely not in round one. Try to get the easy ones, easy LR sets in the first round of scanning. Then after that, whenever you have time, you can go for this set. If you want to, or maybe enjoy it after you have taken CAT. So this is an interesting set, but a tough one definitely. There is no point in discussing the ideal time. Ideal time to solve this set would be somewhere in the range of 10 to 12 minutes. So that's what I want to add to the analysis part. So that's it for this set. Thank you for joining in. Hope you had fun understanding this different type of relationship. Thank you.